I've ever tried to establish an early morning routine and just had no luck. Whether you have an early morning class or stumbled across a self-help guru that told you that's what the CEOs do, or just wanted to establish some order into your mornings, if you're anything like me, then you've probably done that with very mixed success. I mean, I can't lie. Back when I was still in school, I had some semblance of a morning routine. I mean, I kind of had no choice. I had things to do and missing them wasn't really an option. And when that ended and quarantine hit, all traces of that were gone. All I was left with was a chronic cell phone addiction and terrible sleeping habits. Wait, isn't awkward position talk from? Anyway, my mornings often look like this. I open my eyes when I feel like, look over to my phone, grab it into bed with me, and scroll. And scroll, and scroll. Then maybe get up for breakfast before starting the next dopamine-inducing task.
Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. Can't convince me that it didn't happen. Fed them to tigers, they snacking. What's happening? Carol Baskin.
When I eventually got sick of that, I tried to wake up early and pick my life back up again. But it was too late. I had picked up a bad habit. But I was determined to shake it off. I made some progress in my efforts, but I was still down bad. The best I could do was nudge my alarm clock under the bed so that when it rang, I had to get up. But even that had mixed results. But now, several months later, after several bouts of trial and error, I'm happy to say that I am now, not perfect, but in a much better place. So without further ado, here are 4 methods I've recruited to help me defeat the snooze button once and for all. The first method begins with a crucial question. You need to ask yourself why you're doing this. Whenever you're trying to do something new, you tend to find resistance in one of the most annoyingly surprising places, your own brain. You see, our brains don't like to do much more than they need to, and trying to change or start a new habit is quite a lot. So, you need compelling reasons to keep pushing, even when your own body is fighting against you. One of the easiest reasons to fall back on is one born out of necessity. If you need to do something, then you're that more likely to do everything in your power to make it happen. I said earlier that when I was still in school, I had no choice but to get up early. So even on the late nights, I knew I was set for an early morning anyway. And I'm pretty sure anyone who's had an early flight has mustered themselves up into their airport in time to make that flight. I hope. So yeah, when the reason is compelling enough, you'll find a way to make that early rise happen. More recently, in my case, that reason was the need to get to work on time. And then once I hacked that, I introduced a desire to read early before my work days even began.
Knowledge.
The next strategy is based around friction. Let me explain. Whenever we're trying to cultivate a new behavior, we often tend to underestimate how much influence our environment have on those exact behaviors. Our surroundings have the ability to impact each and everything we do in our lives. I mean, it only makes sense, right? I could bet you that if you had a TV in your bedroom, you're more likely to watch TV late into the night than if it was in a separate room or even floor of your house. I'm also pretty sure that if you didn't have to commute to the gym and had a home gym installed, you're that much more likely to find yourself exercising more than you otherwise would. All these examples have to do with reducing friction between you and a behavior, for one reason or another. I use this principle in much easier ways than TVs and gyms to make getting up easier by using a dedicated alarm clock. An absolute game changer, as it kills the option of having my phone in my hands first thing in the morning and wasting time, and also just giving me no option to hit snooze at all. I once had someone say that they had someone say that it's easier to eat just 0 Doritos than it is to eat just 1. Meaning, it's easier to not do something at all than to do it and limit it, especially if it's addictive for whatever reason. So eliminating the option completely does go a long way. Because you see, once you give yourself 5 more minutes of sleep by hitting snooze the first time, you're that more likely to cash in for 5 more minutes, and 5 more, and 5 more. So kill that option completely and go with the analog option. Here, it's do or die, raising the stakes and consequently making it that much harder to eat even 1 Dorito. I also ensure that I have to get out of bed each morning by placing my alarm across the room rather than at my bedside. With the alarm out of arm's reach, I have to get out of bed, if I want to end that terrible noise. And just like that, we're up. All thanks to the power of friction. The third method has to do with accountability. Find an anchor, something to hold yourself to. Having something to fall back on or be held to is really the insurance that you need to keep going when things get tough or all else fails. Try installing anchors that help you sustain the lifestyle that you want. One that I've used myself is a habit tracker. Whether physical or digital, this is something that keeps a tangible record of how I'm doing my routines. I keep track of some of my routines in a journal, and I find that the live feedback helps me respond when things are going wrong or even when things are going well. A more personal method to consider is having a like-minded friend keep you in check. This can work for anything really, but I found it to be really helpful for those early mornings. Back when I was in high school, I had a friend in my dorm who liked to get up early as well for either sport or study, just like me. And having each other to bounce off of to keep that up was really powerful. Yo, seriously, get up. Nice. Hi, Mate. And last, but definitely not least, easily being the hardest thing I've had to implement, sleep earlier. I quickly learned that if I was going to have any hope of keeping this up, I needed to get enough sleep. So when getting up at a certain time, I tried to go to sleep by a certain time as well. By 10 p.m, we're winding things down. Whether it's packing, planning, brushing my teeth, or changing my pajamas, a lot of my morning starts the night before. This is all a setup. A setup that should help me get up feeling much less groggy and making it that much more likely that I can keep this up. The biggest thing that has helped me get to sleep earlier is putting my phone away just before I even start getting ready for bed. You've heard about blue light getting in the way of quality sleep, right? Well, there's that. And then there's the fact that if I don't put my phone away, I'll end up scrolling 3 hours away and wake up feeling sleep deprived, if at all. So yeah, phone away, changed and brushed. Let's finally get into my morning routine. But just before that, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by curating. Keeping in line with designing your environment, a much neglected part of our homes actually happens to be the four walls that house us. Surprisingly enough, much of our walls are left completely bland and without any personality, which is sure to rub off on its occupants. Today's sponsor aims to tackle that problem. With modestly priced wall coverings, you can have your rooms looking bright and vibrant in no time. All that and more, link below at curating. And there's more. What are you doing? I'm doing the ad read. Listen, forget about all that. There's no sponsor for this video. It's literally my third video on YouTube.
It's only my third day out here, I don't know.
Chizachora is just the pseudonym I have for my art. So yeah, I do make art and I sell prints on my website, curating. What I'm really sure you didn't know though, is that I have a newsletter. In it, I write more deeply about my art and some of the deeper motivations behind it. If that sounds interesting to you, you can sign up for that by scrolling to the bottom of my website and entering your email for free. And I wasn't joking about the discounts. Actually, each time I make a new piece, readers of my newsletter get 10% off prints for the first week they're up. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the description. Now, let's get started with our morning. Like clockwork, at 6 a.m. the alarm rings and I get out of bed. I walk to the alarm, switch it off, before quickly hopping into the bathroom. I come out of my bathroom and make my bed. And head downstairs to the kitchen. As soon as I step into the kitchen, I grab the pitcher and pour myself a glass of water. Once I'm done with that, I get back upstairs and into my room, where I'll grab my Bible and daily devotional, which sit on my nightstand. As soon as I get through my readings for the day, I'll probably say a prayer, thanking God for a new day and speaking blessings into it, and saying a few affirmations. After that, I'll grab a book and get through some reading for the morning. I think one of the biggest benefits of waking up earlier is having some peaceful, undisturbed time to put toward things like reading. I've been trying to be more intentional about reading this year, and putting some minutes towards that in the morning has helped me work towards the modest goal of reading 12 books this year. The book I'm currently reading is How to Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, and so far it's been a great read. Now with all of that done, it'll probably be 7 by now, so I'll make my way to the shower and get ready before heading back downstairs and having my breakfast. I'll then run back upstairs and brush my teeth. Then I'll be on my way to doing whatever I have to do first that day. Hopefully by 8. Right now that's driving school. Before it was either work or school. But honestly, even if it was neither, I still like to have my morning started quite early anyway. I just think the momentum it gives me for the rest of the day is worth it. And I also just get started on whatever I've planned for the day much earlier. That's gym or even just a painting, for example. Also, even if you can't see much of it now, the morning sun is paying. And by waking up by 6, you get to see 2 golden hours in a day. So really, I think it's a great deal. Now, as much as I'd like to say this is how all my mornings look, there are some days that I stay up too late, some days that I have to rush out immediately, some days that I just sleep in, But this is how I try to make most of my mornings look, and in time I'll probably get better at the consistency part. I do have to admit that the 10 p.m. curfew currently in Kenya does make things easier, with a lot less things keeping me away from home past that time, and you'll have to see how things look when there aren't any such restrictions on my time. But for now, this is my morning routine. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you found some of the stuff in it at least a little bit useful. These are just some of the things I've tried out and found to work for myself to just try and establish some order to my mornings. So if you ever thought of trying to do the same for yourself, I highly recommend that you try those out, and if you do, please let me know how that goes for you. Finally, I have to say that reading the book Atomic Habits by James Clear did a lot in informing these hacks to defeat the snooze button. So if you're interested in checking that out for yourself, a link is in the description. So yeah, with that said, thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to leave it a like if you enjoyed it, and consider joining my newsletter by entering your email on my website, church.com. It's free. And I hope to see you guys soon in the next video. But for now, you can just check out my last videos here. And yeah, bye.